Every MMA fan loves Derrick Lewis. He KOs people, he says a lot of funny things, and by all accounts, he's a great man who helps out his community. But as a fighter, he does leave me a little puzzled. For example, his win against Alexei Oleinik can be viewed as good or bad. On one hand, Lewis set the record for the most KOs in the UFC heavyweight division with 11. He didn't get submitted despite grappling with the submission machine, Alexei Oleinik, for a considerably long time. And he said he was motivated and will work on his cardio. All are good signs. On the other hand, he still threw a bunch of wild techniques with no setup, most likely did not follow the game plan as he initiated a clinch with Alexei Oleinik, and his technical grappling looked like it left much to be desired. Now look, at the end of the day, he won the match and has had a good amount of results recently, as he's riding a 3-fight win streak and is ranked number 4 in the UFC heavyweight division. However, there is a feeling of what now with Derrick Lewis because of all his perceived flaws. So maybe we should take his recent success with a grain of salt. Because with monsters like Miocic, Cormier, Ngannou, and Blades all ahead of him, number 4 is probably where Derrick Lewis will stay. It's most likely his ceiling. Or is it? MMA is weird because you never know when all of a sudden a fighter figures it out and makes it to the top. So why can't that be Derrick Lewis? What if there is a future where Lewis shatters his perceived glass ceiling and gets a title shot, or dare I say becomes champion? So today I ask, what is Derrick Lewis's upside? Now obviously we have to take a look at what we have when it comes to Derrick Lewis. Let's start off with the good. We have a man who stands at 6'3", cuts weight to get to 265, and has an arm reach of 79 inches. So right away we have a man who, despite the potbelly, is a freak athlete, and it shows as he puts guys to sleep. 19 of his 24 wins are by KO, and it's usually by way of that right hand. The same right hand that froze Francis Ngannou, who's currently number 2 ranked in the division. Now, granted, that is not the same Francis Ngannou who is murdering the division right now, but the point is, it did make Francis Ngannou gun-shy, which led to a unanimous decision win by Lewis. And Ngannou isn't the only one who fears Derrick Lewis, as Derrick Lewis has a bunch of wins against a lot of heavyweight talents. Now, here's the bad. Lewis is most likely leaving his athletic prime at 35 years young. His grappling is a weak spot, and he does tend to gas out. In addition, he does seem to have limited techniques because besides the right hand, there's no real combo or technique that worries you about Derrick Lewis. The point is, all of this is to say that at first glance, Lewis looks like a guy who is one-dimensional, tends to fade, and relies on his athleticism, which seems to be leaving him anyway. But hold on, because I think the question isn't what Derrick Lewis is, but the question is what Derrick Lewis can be. For example, here's an interesting stat, because despite the clear grappling holes that Derrick Lewis has and the errors that he makes, he only has 1 submission loss to his name, and that's at the hands of wrestling machine Daniel Cormier. His lack of grappling is not for lack of talent, because for whatever reason, Derrick Lewis doesn't get subbed. So let's say in an alternate universe, Derrick Lewis cleans up his grappling game. Could his already impressive submission defense get even better? Now, even if he does get better, will he win the ADCCs? Absolutely not. However, my point is, he's already negated being exploited on the ground by some good guys, and he's already far in his career. So what happens if he actually cleans up his technical errors? This statement ironically rings true for his striking as well, because despite it being feared, Derrick Lewis isn't knocking guys out due to superior technique or intricate setups. He's getting guys with explosiveness. A prime example of this is against Alexander Volkov. He just rushed him in the last 15 seconds of a fight and got the comeback win. This means that in theory, despite Derrick Lewis being 32 fights in his career, he's still a work in progress in his striking and his grappling. And that means this probably isn't his ceiling. Add to that theory that he's already working to fix his cardio, and all of a sudden, we can get a Derrick Lewis who can still be better at the age of 35, which is crazy. Now, am I saying this growth will be easy for Derrick Lewis? No. Am I even saying that he can grow exponentially better? Not even close. Even if Derrick Lewis works on the technical aspects of his game, I'm not expecting slick boxing technique and a black belt caliber submission game. But what I am saying though is that in theory, Derrick Lewis can still get substantially better at fighting. And he's already ranked number 4 in the UFC heavyweight division. So imagine what a better Derrick Lewis can be. However, time will only tell if Derrick Lewis actually even works on these things, or even if he does, gets better. Now, there's my video. Whether you like, dislike, it all helps. And whether you agree or disagree, please leave a comment down below. Also, please subscribe as it helps us a lot. And until next time, later.